Welcome, everyone, once again to CV Podcasts right here on channelvisionmag.com. I'm Brady Hicks. I'm an editor with Channel Vision Magazine, and today we actually have a very special guest joining us from Colocation America. We have the Director of Business Development, Ahdoot. How you doing today, Albert?
Doing good. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm excited to have you and to talk with you about this company. If you could, for those who maybe aren't as familiar, could you talk a little bit about Colocation America and what it's all about?
Sure. So Colocation America, we have been in business since the year 2000, so 22 years to date. We offer colocation services, which is where you bring in your equipment in a controlled environment, being a data center. So that's one of the things we do. And the other, if you don't have your own equipment, we also lease equipment to you. So you can run your business via a controlled environment, being a data center. So your servers aren't sitting in a, hot server room at the office with all that noise and no redundancy. Or some people run it in their basements or whatever they do. But all the major companies, including Google, Yahoo, eBay, Amazon, everything is run within a data center. So that's what we offer.
Oh, fantastic. Would you be able to tell me what sets Colocation America apart from others that offer hosted services?
So we're not a hosting company. Again, we have hosting customers that host their clients within our data center. So we're a infrastructure data center operator, to be exact, not to make it more complicated. So anything from your voice over IP phone down to hosting your website, running your business any way, shape, or possible, as long as it's online, we're the ones behind the core infrastructure, making sure your services are up and running 100%. What makes us different, it's been doing this for over 2 decades now, seen it all. Technology does change on a daily basis. And upkeeping, just again, at the end of the day, making sure number one priority is to have our customers 100% up and running.
It's interesting to me that you referenced the 2 decades doing this. I know that Colocation America goes back to the 1990s. What sort of things in the company's history have kind of contributed to where it is today?
Wow. Good question. What contributed? Say a lot of hard work. I mean, our employees have been with us, I would say most of them, since the heyday, since we started the business. So been through everything and anything where we had our staff up and running, basically, even the shift doesn't leave until everything is taken care of. So we've gone through major web attacks, which is DDoS, down to the Department of Water and Power having a power outage, and we have to make sure generators are kicking in smoothly and the batteries aren't blowing up. So it's a very complicated business in a sense. Funny, everyone says, hey, as long as it's up and running, that's the problem. There are issues on a daily basis. Electricity doesn't flow in 100%. There's heat issues. In Texas now, was it last week, there was a heat wave, and a lot of data centers had to literally shut down because they would have melted everything in there. So there's a lot of things that goes in the background that we do that customers aren't aware of. Again, just to make sure they're up and running 100%.
You seem to be one step ahead of me on the questions, which is fantastic, because it leads me to ask you, what sort of things go into offering that 100% uptime, like you were kind of referencing there? I know you mentioned it was difficult, but what sort of considerations are there for you guys?
Sure. So number one, human error is the number one reason things go bad. So one, we're always make sure our employees that are been with us are veterans, and there are veterans. So we do hire the best of the best in everything and anything, from them being an expert, let's say in Windows or Linux or Cisco. So from the front end, we do have experts that run the company, and they're experts in what they do. Then on the other hand, on a back end, we want to make sure our power is redundant. So power does go out, and all of our data centers nationwide, they are behind batteries, they are behind generators, and everything is fed in dual fed. So God forbid one fails, there's your second, and we have all sorts of redundancies behind it. Bandwidth, your connectivity, let's say at your office or your home, you're bound to one provider. People do trip over wires all day long, and if that fiber gets cut, God forbid, there goes your downtime, there goes your business. So imagine having thousands of connections instead of having one, whereby you're fully redundant. So even if a fiber gets cut from here to there, our routers are smart enough to go ahead and take you through that path, through the internet, fastest way possible, just to bypass that fiber being cut somewhere in the middle. So then besides that, from the servers being redundant, from their hard drive to the RAM to some server load balancer. So, it's a lot that goes behind the scenes that the customer isn't aware of, that we have to be on top of daily, just to make sure everything is up and up 100%.
Now, that's really interesting. And I know scalability has been huge as well for Colocation America. Would you be able to expand on the concept of what Colocation America calls the scalable solution?
Sure. So in our case, we need to have our number one, I guess, thing to have is power. So we do have a lot of power and then space behind us. So at any point, any customer wants to increase their footprint within any of our data centers, all they need to do is let us know, hey, I'm picking up X amount of more power, or X amount of more space, or X amount of more bandwidth. So they can scale up to as much as they want. And good news is we have a capacity of our own within our data center. So once we hit a certain amount of space and power, we stop advertising that data center, just to make sure that if any of the customers grow drastically, we have enough power allocation and space allocation to give them so they can grow with us.
Well, it sounds like a whole lot of thought has kind of gone into the process for Colocation America. Could you talk a little bit about some of the other services that you guys offer and unique opportunities?
We're pretty, I guess, as simple as far as the choices we give our customers. So A, it's either co-location, and that's bringing your own servers, switchers, routers, whatever it is, into a controlled environment, being a data center, and that's co-location. Or if you, again, don't have that, your own equipment, we lease you the equipment that you would need to run your business. It's basically just like buying a car or leasing a car. So same thing. Those are the two options that we offer very simply. And we have all sorts of customers, from hospitals to banks to name it, your typical Fortune 500, Fortune 1000 companies under our network. And those are the customers that we service.
What would you say to the potential partner who may want to work with Colocation America? What are the advantages? What sets you guys apart?
Great question. I can get personal with that, and that's how we started the company. I attended medical school 22 years ago, to be exact, and I was in New York when the second plane hit, and it took me a month working at the hospital since school was closed, and I tagged along with all the doctors at the hospital. I was a first-year medical student, and I got to a point, and I pulled the doctor aside. I'm like, I don't understand. Like, you come in and it's go, 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 and you don't know anything about your, patient. And he's like, do you think we have the time? I'm like, what do you mean? Like, don't you want to ask your patient if they have a dog, a cat, how they're doing? Like, where do they live? What do they do? It's like, we don't have the time. I'm like, okay. So that chapter was closed. I came back to IT, and funny enough, we faced the same thing the first few years, and everything was just send me a ticket, send me an email. There was no direct communication. Like, we didn't know anything about our customers, and it was a numbers game at the end of the day. How many customers can we get, and how much profit are we making? So one thing I would say, besides everything else that sets us apart, we get to know our customers individually. So we handpick them. They handpick us. We sit and evaluate. We talk about it. What do you do? What do you need? How can we help you? How can you help us? So, and one thing we do with our networking is we do network within our own network. So if a customer comes and reaches to us saying, hey, Albert, do you know someone that does so-and-so? We're looking for someone who can offer this service. So we just literally reach out within our own network and introduce our customers to each other. Thereby, they don't need to go out of the network. And this is some reliable company that we know stands behind their name and they have a good reputation. So that's one thing that sets us apart. Be very, we sit there, we listen. It's not another number, another customer that just comes in and goes. And we have had customers that literally went out of business and they started something else and they came back to us saying, hey, you were so wonderful. You were right there every time we wanted you. And I'll elaborate on that. We are 24/7. So you can pick up the phone, you can get on instant messenger, you can email, and we answer right there and then. There are guys on 4 different shifts running every data center, and everything is done in-house. We don't outsource anything whatsoever. So there you have it. Just to me, at the end of the day, someone who helped start the company with all the lovely employees that we have. Our gig is we just like helping people out. We get to know our customers. And if you're not happy with us, it happens. Sometimes they don't like one of the employees they're talking to. We'll hear it, we'll evaluate it. And if it's not working out for us, we're not going to bound you to a contract and say, oh, you signed like a 2-year contract and you have to. You're not happy. It's a free country. It's a free world. Do whatever you need to do. So we don't need to hold you down by a contract. As long as you guys are happy and you're getting whatever you need and some, we'll keep on doing business together.
That's a remarkable story, Albert. And I have to say, that level of personalization that you're talking about, it's really critical for so many companies. As we look forward into the rest of this year and even into 2023, what sort of things can we expect from Colocation America? What do you guys have going on?
Uptime. We want to make sure, again, our number one goal, that our customers are 100% up and running. That's a guaranteed service that we provide. And again, we're in business, you're in business, and vice versa. So our number one goal is customer satisfaction. It always has been. And yes, we have people that have bad days that call us and just give it to us, saying, oh, this back and forth. And by the time we go through it, they're like, I'm sorry. Wasn't really all our fault. It was your employee that did so-and-so that kicked out your server. So again, we work with all sorts of people, all sorts of personalities, just like any other company. And the number one goal has always been, what can we do to help? What do we do to make it better for you, easier for you, where we have everything up and running and you go about running your own business. So there's no headache of that IT issue that everyone complains about, especially in our industry, saying, oh, we're down, or this broke, or that happened. Just, let us keep your business afloat, where you can go out and make money and go home to your family and do whatever you do.
That's fantastic. If people want more information on Colocation America, where can they go online? What sort of resources do you guys have?
Our site, another thing that I'll give it to our staff, considering we do log everything and we do listen to what people want and what they're looking for, our site is a miniature dictionary. We even have like references going to Wikipedia and back. So if you ever want to know anything about what we do or how we can help, you can actually go to the site, and it's www.colocationamerica.com. And any questions, concerns, how we can better our services, or if you have any technical questions that wasn't answered by our website, you can email us at support, and that's support@colocationamerica.com. And we do have technicians behind the computer, and they'll reply right back, or chat, or phone call. And again, we're always here 24/7 trying to assist.
Well, there you go. Available 24/7 to help you guys out. Albert, thank you so much for the chat today. It was really great.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And while you guys are online checking out Colocation America, don't forget to also visit channelvisionmag.com. That's our website. There on the media section, you can check out other great podcasts and CVTVs. We also have other content as well, webinars and other stuff right there on demand on the website. And with Channel Vision Magazine and Colocation America, this has been CV Podcasts. Everybody take care.